Your smartphone is not automatically the problem. The problem is how many jobs, permissions, accounts, habits, and dependencies you have, okay, to one object. All right. So I want you all today to learn how to make your smartphone dumb again. Today is an app eviction. Okay. An app eviction. I know you got tons of apps on those devices. Okay. When we look at the complexity of the cell phone, and my last video took off pretty well and on flip phones, and I was amazed at how many people are on this board with flip phones, right? But you got to understand, when at some point it comes to a crescendo, okay? uh People are kind of tired with the intrusion of the phone, and now uh they're seeing it. So what you want to know, or what you want to ask yourself, is, does these apps, or the phone, the components of the phone, if you're transitioning into a flip phone, you're going from a smart device, or you still need to use a smart device, you need to ask, does it need residency or merely access for the phone or the app? Okay. Hey, you all that's coming on in, good to see you this evening. The goal is not to dumb you down. Okay, so let me make that really clear. It's not a dumb human. The goal is a dumber phone. I want to make that very clear. All right, the goal is to make you smarter, right? Not smaller, smarter. All right. So I'm going to show you a number of different things and how we're going to take these devices and we're going to massively revolutionize them for security, for to be decentralized, to have autonomy, and so much more. Okay. So I bought a book and a phone. Okay. And this book I bought some years back. It was used, and I had heard of this writer, or this teacher, John Taylor Gatto. Okay, and the name of the book is "Dumbing Us Down: The Hidden Curriculum of Compulsory Schooling." This ties into this book and this cell phone. Yeah, you can say they're two peas in a pod. I can be conspiratorial, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to stick with the facts. And one thing I know is that, and maybe it wasn't the intention, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, but this man in the 70s and in the 80s was already discussing how in public education there was already a play to dumbing down the children. And now you have to ask, like, why would they do that? Now, I'm not saying they did that so that you all would have to be codependent on these things. But I'm going to prove to you today how dangerous these cell phones have become in our hands. So I bought the book, and the book tonight, the reason why I brought it tonight is because the title has been sitting in my head for a while. I have been changing the way I use my phone for some time, okay, as well. This is what I told you, the dumbing down, okay, of John Taylor Gatto. Gatto was writing about compulsory schooling. He was not writing about iPhones. He was not predicting TikTok. I am not going to put words in this man's mouth, but what grabbed me was the language around self-knowledge, curiosity, concentration, and solitude. And I started asking myself, what else in modern life is training those capacities out of us? And I'm telling you, it's massive. Because this little object is supposed to be smart. Smartphone, smart device, smart assistant, smart everything. But the smarter this phone got, the more jobs I handed it. And I'm just going to speak about me. We ain't even going to talk about you. I handed it my banking. I handed it my shopping. I handed it my calendar, my camera, my entertainment. I handed it my maps. My favorite was what's the map? Is it not MapQuest? Waze. Loved Waze. Okay, Waze. Google bought Waze, by the way. Google owns a lot of companies you probably wouldn't realize, but Google bought Waze. Okay, it's part of under that the Alphabet, their holding company or their parent company is Alphabet, but Google, YouTube, and a number of other platforms fall under that. Gmail, all that. My notes, I handed over my authentication, my email, my social media, my music, and every 5-minute pocket of boredom I had left. And while I'm talking, you all can kind of look and just peek at yours if that's the case with you. So tonight, I'm not asking you to become dumb. I'm asking you to make the phone dumb enough that you have to stay smart. This is app eviction day, okay? If you are not ready for a flip phone, which I took inventory, I read every comment, okay? So if you're not from the last video, so if you're not ready for a flip phone, okay, that video has, I think, about 80,000 views right now and almost about 1,000 comments. So it did very well, and I've been responding to every comment, and I am taking that data and information. I already had a lot of information on the sidelines because this is something I've been actually working on for a couple of years. I did not know so many people would enjoy the commentary of that 12-minute video, but so many people have been doing the same thing, okay? So if you're not ready for a flip phone, I am not going to fuss at you tonight. We are going to take the smartphone you already own and start revoking assignments. Now, this ain't for the weak because capability is not the assignment. Your phone can do something without the function deserving permanent residency on your phone. Your phone can do it, okay? Yeah, that does not mean your phone should do it. Have we heard that before? Why I want you to ask yourself also why this matters, okay? One of the biggest things, and I know some people may not like this, I used to think of this differently as well, but with my law enforcement background, and as time has progressed, this is a liability. This is a massive liability. You know what isn't a liability for me? Let me see. This is a liability. This cute phone with my little niece on it, my niecey poo, okay? This smartphone, which is one of the best, is the iPhone Pro Max or Max Pro 13 edition. They was paying like $2,000 to get this phone back from us. This phone was probably the best phone Apple ever made, okay? And I got the big version and I got the small version. I had got them the same year. I have multiple companies, y'all. My businesses have different numbers, okay? I have my own personal number. So if you're like, I ain't dealing no dope or nothing, okay? But this right here, okay, is the flip phone. If I lose this, I don't care. Someone steals it, I don't care. It gets broke, I'm on vacation, falls into the ocean, I don't care. You want to know why? Because the utility is talk and text, and not text. I don't like the text. This is a T9 board, okay? This is a T9. You ever text on a T9? Horrible. It's good for yes, no, on my way, and that's about in K. That's about it, okay? All right? This is not a liability. Because the numbers in here, I don't have to keep a record of stuff. The calls I get, this is my business line, by the way, okay? I don't do Zoom meetings on this. I do that on the desktop. I don't put save information and files on this. I don't have apps on this. And my contacts go into my Rolodex. And I only put people in this phone. I only program people worthy to be programmed in, okay? Vendors and clients. That's it. However, this, and y'all got to be careful whose phone numbers you put in your phone. I personally, Y'all wouldn't believe me if I tell you how extreme I've been with this actually for years. Okay. I've just went more extreme and more extreme, but I've always had multiple phones because if you know anyone in military or law enforcement, we always had dumb phones. Okay. We always had a dummy phone. Okay. Because our safety, it was codependent on our safety. If you was dating someone or what have you, this was before social medias and all kind of platforms tied your phone number to your account. And so you got to think of it. This is why you ever put someone's phone number in your phone, or you give someone your phone number or whatever, and all of a sudden you see their social media, a coworker, their social media is coming. You're like, oh, I didn't know they was on Facebook. Oh, I didn't know, because everything is tied to your phone number. And when you understand how the phone number, I would say, is even more important than a device. It's a powerful, powerful tool. The phone number is tied to everything, which has now raised its liability. You go sign up for a new app, give me your phone number. You want this coupon? Give me your phone number. You want to get on this email list? Give me your phone number. You want to use this platform? Give me your phone number. I would say the phone number is even more pertinent to other players than the email address. You should be very cautious how you hand out your phone number and to who you give it to, because your phone number is the real tracking device. It's the real tracking device. So understand the liability. Now, I make apps, okay? I make apps. I understand why apps exist. I understand convenience. I understand functionality. So this is not somebody standing here frightened of technology, all right? I am making a technological or technology argument from the opposite direction. And I believe in ethical AI and ethical technology and systems and what have you, right? The more critical functions you concentrate into one device, the more important that one device becomes. And once one object contains your communication, your money, your how you say? I'm talking too fast. Authentication, Kimberly, all right? Your location, your history, your phone numbers, your photos, your work, your shopping, your entertainment, and your private conversations, that object, this, okay, is no longer just a convenience. It is a concentration point. Lose it, break it, lock yourself out of it, let the battery die, let the network go down, let an account get compromised, and suddenly one problem can touch 5 or 10 other parts of your life. Would you agree? I got a lot of live people. Hey, you all. And would you agree? That is what I mean when I say your phone can become a liability. Not because phones are evil, okay? Because concentration creates dependency. Before we start deleting anything tonight, tell me in the chat, if your smartphone disappeared for 24 hours, which part of your life would break first? Would it be banking, navigation, work, authentication, communication? Some of you all are in the gig economy. When I used to do Uber Eats, because this is about a decade. Oh my, I can't believe it's been that long. But when I first started this channel, okay, CEO DRIVEHER, that's where the name comes from, you all. I had a few other companies I was building at the time while having, I was still in law enforcement, wasn't in law enforcement no more. And then the reality of running a business full time showed up on the scene, and I had to pay bills. And so the money wasn't coming in quick enough, right? And so I said, well, let me just get out here and do some Uber. I didn't know nothing about it. I think I maybe used Uber twice. I'd never done DoorDash or Uber Eats or Lyft. I signed up for everything. So because I'm a businesswoman, okay, I already knew being in, immediately when I got in the gig economy and people was complaining about making money, I was like, why don't you put this under LLC? I've been building LLCs since the early 2000s. So I was just like, I'm doing this under LLC. Okay. Uber is going to pay my company and my company is going to pay me. How about that? So a lot of you all in the gig economy, I have to make this real. Okay. Or you have side gigs or whatever, you think about it, or you educate, or you do whatever you do. A lot of you all use your phone as a computer. And we're going to talk about that because you need to stop. Okay. However, I always kept two phones on me. Number one, I always was concerned because of my law enforcement background, being an officer almost 15 years. I didn't want to get hemmed up. I was like, I'm in Atlanta at the time, right? Praise God, not there no more, but I could get robbed. Someone could say, give me your phones and stick me up. Great, all right? But guess what? I kept another phone on me. It was hidden on me. Always had multiple devices. All right. Then as I started doing more, getting better in agile and looking, seeing how the apps work, when I started seeing this is an algorithm when no one was talking about it. I was telling people I have videos. They're still on my YouTube. Those videos are just not visible. But I did teaching people how this is an algorithm. If you know how to hack the algorithm, you'll make a bunch of money. And I was making thousands of dollars. Okay. I had 6-figure income coming in doing Uber. Okay. And I wasn't working as much as those people that was, on the platform. Anyway, you should know that just like if anything happens to your car, that's a problem. If anything happens to your phone where you're getting your rides, if you're doing ride share, you're getting your pings and tings and notifications and bonuses, you're getting paid out what? Through your phone. It makes you more susceptible. And this is, and I don't want to scare you. I just want to make you more cautious. Okay. So if your life was to break, what, if your phone was to get destroyed or you couldn't have it for 24 hours, what would break in your life? Would it be your banking? Would it be navigation, work, authentication, communication, entertainment? That answer is information. Okay. Understand this. Apps come with roommates. I can go even with Uber right now. You're on one app. You think they're just keeping all the data. They're not. They come with roommates. They're third party. A lot of these breaches come from third party players that are working in the background in conjunction with it. Mind you, I make apps. I make web-based apps. So I know what I'm talking about here. Where are my tech people? Okay. All right. So now I want to say something tonight that I want you to remember in every way and remember every time you download an app. You do not always download one thing. Again, apps come with roommates. A modern app may include analytics tools, advertising, technology, crash reporting services, attributions, services, login services, payment services, maps, cloud service, and third-party software development kits. These are going to be SDKs, okay? That does not automatically mean something sinister is happening. No, all right? Teamwork make the dream work. I get it. However, it means the little icon you see on the screen that may be in front of it may be the front door to a much larger technological or technology system, ecosystem, okay, technical system. And that ecosystem may have access to information depending on what the app does, what permissions you grant, how the developer designed it, and what the privacy terms allow. Okay, now stay with me. I also want to correct a phrase people use too casually. Installing an app does not automatically mean the company legally owns everything you put into it. Yet. So let me tell you something. And I used to be an app girly. I loved apps, right? Here's the thing. When ChatGPT came on the scene, and some of my people that are in here right now can attest to this, because I've done it live for them. You notice every other day when you see, a lot of times they like to do updates in the middle of the night. Did you notice that? Who gets updates in the middle of the night? Automatic updates. Here's the thing with the automatic update. You agree to the terms and services. You don't realize that app such and such just got acquired by this $1 billion company, and the $1 billion company bought the company because of the data pool, because of the information. And now the terms and services are different, and y'all not reading them boring pages. You're not going through the terms and services. Where my geeks at? Who's doing it? Come on. Right? Are you reading when these apps and these phones are doing these updates? Are you reading it? When your TV does an update, are you reading it? How many of you, come on, y'all. In a 30-day period, a lot of us are getting probably a dozen automatic updates to terms and services. I just got one, I think, from Robinhood. There was one that I read, it was a couple of months ago from Robinhood. I actually read it. Well, my bot read it. I've programmed my bot to look for the fault lines, what can be problematic, all these kind of different things. And it had to deal with their inability to back up and ensure a certain amount of money. I said, guess who won't be putting any more money on that platform? Okay. So they know you're not going to read. They put all these legalese in here. And this is one reason I know y'all don't like AI, but this is where, unless you want to pay an attorney $500, $1,200 every time for 15 minutes or 20 minutes to read through some terms and services and to clarify something for you. I have an attorney, and it's a bot that I created. You may not like that, but let me tell you something. It's helped a lot of people. Okay, it's helped a lot of people. Now, I'm not going to say that all these companies are innocent, but I'm also not going to say that they're all guilty either. It's not, a lot of times you don't even realize a business or app, a company has gotten acquired. And let me tell you something, a lot of these really good apps and software, the whole premise of the business is to get so big that someone comes in, because they start off as a what? Startup. Hey, y'all. Okay. They start off as a startup. Okay. I'm a business coach. Okay. I help people draft businesses. I've been doing this for oh my goodness, maybe 15 years. Okay. And so a lot of people, that's the whole point. They want to do a startup. There's a few of them or a dozen of them, get the company valuation to about $100 million or $50 million. And then they go on Shark Tank and sell it. You know, you get what I'm saying? So I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I just want to put that out there. So terms differ, but you may be giving a company permission to collect, process, retain, analyze, or share certain information. A lot of times if you read it, it'll say, it'll ask you straight out, but you just click the button. I don't click it. You still can, y'all may not know this, you still can get into a lot of these softwares and apps and if you say no, but you don't realize there's very few that you can't say. If you say no, you can't access. I say no all the time. No, you can't. And then I just walk on in, okay? Because I custody my data. You may also be granting licenses to content you upload. That's happening on TikTok, a lot of social media platforms. Don't think you own it. You and somebody on someone else's playground in someone else's yard. And third-party services inside the app may receive data too. Okay? So these are the people behind the scenes. So my question is not, is every app spying on me? My question is, why am I giving permanent residency to software I don't even use? I'm gonna tell you right now, a bunch of y'all got a bunch of apps that you don't use. A few real cases, okay? This is not theoretical, okay? I am going to put some source links to prove all this that's going on, okay? That I'm talking about and why I'm not giving residency, right? Because there have been a lot of cases with the FTC, okay, where these people have gotten fined. This just happened with, oh my goodness, who was it? Just this week, Kimberly. I'm gonna come back to it, but it was egregious. I think I reposted it on X, but we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna post some source links below after this video, but that you can look at. But because I want you to read these for yourself. Okay, the Federal Trade Commission, which is the FTC, has brought multiple cases involving digital services and mobile apps where sensitive information were allegedly shared or used in ways consumers did not expect. Okay, I think that just sort of happened with Facebook, and they just got fined like, what's that, $300 billion by the US government. That just happened this week. Okay. Prenum, or Premom, I'm sorry, an ovulation and fertility tracking app was subject of the FTC case involving allegations that sensitive health information was shared with third parties, including through third-party SDKs that I was talking about earlier. How many of you all got Good RX? I know my dad has that on his phone. Most people of older age have Good RX, okay? Good RX faced an FTC enforcement action over unauthorized disclosures of health information to advertising and technology companies, including Facebook and Google. BetterHelp. How many YouTubers or social media people, this is a therapy company, betterhelp.com. I'm giving them advertisement right now, right? Well, guess what they did? They do a lot of partnerships with influencers. BetterHelp settled FTC allegation that it disclosed sensitive consumer information to advertising platforms, including Facebook and Snapchat, after making privacy promises to users. Y'all, don't think for a moment you just tapping something into an app. This is why a lot of us don't went to this, and we don't have data plans, or we use our devices as a utility method. This is why you want to dumb down your phone. Okay? Then we have in-market. In-market was prohibited from selling or sharing precise location data after the FTC alleged location information came from its own apps and from third-party apps that had incorporated its SDK. And Gravy Analytics and Ventel faced FTC action over sensitive location data. Isn't that scary? Now, mind you, we're dealing with a huge thing going on with Flock right now. And I have heard more nefarious cases by law enforcement, may I add, when it comes to these Flock devices. Cops are getting fired left and right. We are living in a surveillance state, in a police state. And you want to know why? They don't see what the big problem is, because you put all your information in Facebook. You put all your location and your data, where you're going, your maps and everything on your phone. On Apple Maps is owned by Apple. Waze is owned by Google. Okay, there's so many of these different things. Then you got Google Maps there, and the U.S. government or police department can subpoena the data at any time. And you all, and I'm gonna tell you right now, don't you open your rabbit mouth talking about, if you don't have nothing to hide, it shouldn't matter. Shut up. You do not know tyranny. You don't love your freedom enough. You want to know? Google it. Look who's getting arrested. Look who's losing their jobs and getting arrested right now. Cops who are not doing actual investigations. They weaponized it and used it to stop people. Okay. So they use the sensitive data, location data, including data that could reveal visits to health facilities and places of worship. And then who do you think that information is going to? You don't think you could be on a watch list of some sort? I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm just saying, why would you collect that? That is what I mean by roommates. The icon is one thing. The data relationship behind the icon can be another thing entirely. Okay? An app is not just what it does for you. You also need to ask what it gets from you. Okay? So here are the app eviction rules, okay, that we're going to get into. So now let's make this practical. I do not want you deleting apps recklessly. Let me say that again. I do not want you deleting apps recklessly and then blaming me because you cannot board your flight or get to your bank account tomorrow morning. Be smart. We're dumbing down the phone, not you. Okay? Some of us may have been born that night, but not last night. All right? We're going to use 4 decisions. Decision number 1, keep the function truly the fun. Well, keep the, how can I say? I want you to keep the function truly needs to be mobile. Okay? You use it, you understand it, why it's there, and you have reviewed its permissions. Okay. So I'm going to be honest. I have some apps that I know is collecting my data. I know it's selling my data. I know it. I know it. It's almost like, okay, so today I end up having to take my niece back to Florida. Right. And so, as you know, I live in Georgia. My brother and his girl lives in Florida. And I had my niece for a while, okay? And I went to Steak and Shake. I didn't have the bun, though, because I made it keto, right? So I didn't have the bun, but I went there, and I don't do fast food, and I don't eat out, but when I do, I'll do Steak and Shake, or I may do Cookout, and I get the same thing. It's the same thing, okay? So I had got these naked burgers with cheese and the condiments and onions and stuff like that, just not with the buns. However, I know what I'm getting when I have some fast food, right? I'm not going there trying to make it healthy. They fry it in beef tallow. It don't get no better than that. I like Steak and Shake because they don't use seed oils. I'm allergic to seed oils, so I can't have them. Right? I absolutely cannot have seed oils. And so I was like, oh, I could do Steak and Shake. And I hadn't ate. I had been meeting with clients early this morning. It was just a lot going on today. And so I'm saying all that to say this. I know what I'm getting. I know what I signed up for, right? If I go to Cookout, same thing. I get a double cheeseburger, extra cheese, onions, mustard, and ketchup. That's it. I take the bun off and I eat the patties. Okay? It's my guilty pleasure. All right. Yeah, I can cook it. I can cook it much healthier, but I don't want to. I want theirs. Okay. It's like if you go to Waffle House, you don't go to Waffle House and say, what is the cleanest, healthiest thing? There's going to be grease on the table. Eat the food and shut up. Okay. Right? You know what you're getting. I know what I signed up for. So if I have an app, which is they're health apps, okay, like my Keto Mojo. I have my Keto Mojo. It's my favorite. I have my fasting app, another by Zero, another one of my favorite. They're taking the data. I don't mind. I'm like, fair. Okay. So you're going to keep the ones that you're like, no, they're probably taking data, but what I get in exchange, it's no biggie. Okay, cool. All right. So that's after you've reviewed it. That means you keep it. Okay. The next is relocate. This is one of my favorite ones. Okay. Relocate. So we got keep. Now we're going to relocate. The function is useful. All right. But it does not need to live on your phone. Move it to the desktop or use the website in the browser when you need it. Okay. I personally like my banking. I will say this. I do have a few of my banking apps that I use regularly. My others, they either live on another device. Okay. This is my dumbed down iPhone Max. Okay. So I have 2FA Authenticator. I have some of my crypto wallets, like exchanges. Okay. I have exchanges on this, it's not like a cold wallet, but it's like my Metal Pay. A couple of those, it's not tied to a network whatsoever. It's not tied to a data plan. This doesn't have This don't even have a phone number to it. Okay. And if I open it, you'll be able to see, okay, you'll be able to see some of the different apps. I'm going to tell you right now, this is because I'm in blockchain technology. Crypto. I have the Brave app on here, Bank Social. That's it. And photos. And that's because I've had a bunch over the years because I used to use this phone. Okay. So that's that. All right. So if you can relocate, which I go through the desktop to get to my banking primarily. Okay. Only if I need to quickly move something, that will be an emergency. But here's the thing. There's been times I'll just re-download the app. If I just have to, for whatever reason, I'm not in a position where I can get to my desktop. That's what I do. Okay. But that usually doesn't happen. Okay. So that's relocate. Number 3 is quarantine. The function is important, but sensitive. You may choose to keep it on a dedicated or secondary device instead of the phone, which is what I was doing here. Okay. Instead of the phone that you primarily use, like this one or this one, you can carry everywhere. Okay. So you don't carry these ones, the ones I'm talking about. Okay. You don't do that. All right. So this one goes under quarantine, where and if you do any kind of financials like your Charles Schwab, any kind of banking, major banking, investments, for some of you all that have things on the blockchain, you want to put it on a device like this. Now, here's the thing. You may have to, because you do need a phone number, you register it with a phone number, an actual phone number, because this is when they're going to do your 2FA, 2MFA, okay, or your SMS, okay, for security reasons. So it's still going to need a phone number, 2FA, and SMS, okay, and biometrics. So there's a lot that goes on. For some of us that's more in tech, we are already accustomed to this, okay? So you may with the quarantine, we got that set, right? So number 4 is my favorite, which is evict. You do not use it if you do not use it, if you forgot it exists, if it's duplicates, another app, meaning you have a bunch of the same things. It exists mostly to make you scroll or spend, or the browser can do the job, just fine. It needs to go. The question all night is, does this app needs residency or merely access? Okay. And if it just needs access, you already know where to go. So before we go, okay, category by category, let me save somebody from fake decluttering, because I know I've done it and you may end up doing it yourself as well. Okay. Hey, let me see. Who's that? Hey, darling. Hey, y'all. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get into the chats too much, but I'll make my way over there shortly. Okay. Taking the icon off your home screen is not necessarily deleting the app, especially if you have an iPhone. So on iPhone, it gives you the option to remove from the home screen or keep in the app. Okay. It says keep in the app, in the app library. If you actually want off the device, choose delete the app, not delete it off the home screen. Because if you delete it off the home screen, it's still hiding in the background, collecting data and taking up your space. And deleting the app from the device does not necessarily delete your account. I'm not saying delete your account, because you may actually want to go back and say, I actually like that app. You can go right back into it. Now, I have literally deleted accounts. Okay. I'm not telling you to delete accounts. I'm saying delete the app if you choose to. Okay. So, your account with the company, right? It sometimes it can, but some apps will erase your data stored on the company's server or cancel a subscription. And that's another thing. I did this some years back. I had deleted a bunch of apps. I got just fed up with everything I was paying for. You want to know what was a problem? I didn't cancel the subscription in Apple. And I was like, how am I still getting charged for stuff? They make it really hard. They've gotten better, but they used to make it really hard for you to cancel a subscription. You had to jump through so many hoops. I had to watch YouTube videos. I don't know if y'all remember that, but you literally had to watch some YouTube videos and read a couple of Substacks to figure out how to unsubscribe from a paid subscription of some sort that was an app. Okay. So those are separate questions. If you are done with the service, check whether you also need to cancel the subscription, what I was just talking about. Delete the account, export anything you need, and review connected logins. Now, for my Android people, a lot of you all are Android folks, the word you are generally looking for is uninstall. Okay, so when you go to do it, you want to make sure you click on uninstall. And remember that archiving an app is not the same thing as permanently deleting the relationship. Some pre-installed system apps cannot be fully removed and may only be disabled. Apple is really big about that. You know, when you get an Apple device, or it may already come pre-installed with like Google browser, Gmail, a couple of different things, right? You can take those away. But there are certain apps they will not, trust me, I've tried, they will not allow you to delete. Okay. I was able to take their stock market and Apple News and a bunch of that stuff off my phone, but there's some things they just let it take up space on your phone, which is a scam because I bought a phone with 258 gigabytes, but you done used up 100 of it on some apps I didn't ask for, but I digress, right? So, some pre-installed system apps cannot be fully removed and may be only be disabled. Okay, and that's fine. So app eviction day means eviction. Do not just move the tenant to the back room. Okay, it's not going to the back of the class. It's not going to the back of the room. So let us start with the category that usually has no problem finding us, and that's social media. Okay, so you're going to look at, for you all that still have smartphones, okay, or any device that you're trying to break these habits with, and you want to be a divorcee from the apps that you've been married to that you're not even using. We're going to go through right now, okay, and you're just going to glance, all right? So we're evicting social media. Do you need to evict Facebook? You can get on Facebook through a desktop. You don't need to know whatever. You need to mind your business. You don't need to be on social media minding everyone's business. I even have a rule now. Like when I watch social media, I make sure it has nothing to do with gossip or someone else's business, unless it's something where I'm learning something. But if I hear the Holy Spirit say, that's somebody else's business, I hop off. Okay. And so Facebook, you can get on through a desktop. You notice how they really want you to use your phone. Be cautious of anyone that really wants you to use your phone, okay? Instagram. Now, these two were very easy for me, okay? Because I loathe them with a passion, okay? So I haven't been on these in years, okay? Years, all right? I have accounts I don't even know how to get into. TikTok, okay? Do you need to get rid of TikTok? Now, TikTok, how TikTok is programmed, you don't get the same functionality if you use a desktop, okay? You just don't. If you're a TikTok lover, and I'm going to tell you, it needs to go. Personally, take it off your phone. Snapchat, X, Threads, Blue Sky, Truth Social, Rumble, Reddit, whatever you have, okay? You need to see what needs to be evicted, okay? I have already made a decision for myself, okay? You cannot talk me into putting any of these on my phone. You just can't, okay? That does not mean I can never use the platform. Like I use X for investments and new stuff that I need for my business, all right, and for my clients. And so I do like X for that, but X doesn't have permanent residency. X can be pretty toxic, right? And so I'm very careful with using that platform. Most of the time I access X through my desktop, not my cell phone, okay? So it doesn't mean you can never use the platform. It means the platform does not automatically get residency in your pocket. My suggested rule for somebody who is not ready to go hard, okay, just do one social media. Get rid of one or just keep one. Like me, I just have one. The one I have is YouTube. I geek out on educational information. Okay, I want to know what the Eagles are doing in mating season. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I like learning and watching people using old-fashioned washing machines and mills and stuff. I was like, one day I was like, oh God, this stuff is so good. I was geeking out on all kinds of stuff. I geek out with a lot of homesteaders, farmers, crafters. That's my jam. Okay, I want to see you put in some petunias. Okay, I want to see you go and get your baby calf. Okay, I want to see you go and call your pet donkey over. I'm here for it. You get a like, and I'm gonna view it as long as I can. Okay, it is enjoyable. Okay, that's my healthy balance. All right, and so find out now. If you have these things that make you gossip, it gets you wind up. It pisses you off. It makes you angry. You might need to get rid of the app, okay? Especially if you don't know how to build your own algorithm, okay? So, evict. How many of you all? Let's see how many we got in the chat. Who's gonna evict some apps? Who's already evicted some apps? Let's see. Anybody? Uh-oh. I think there's a lag on the chat. So, 1, the rest can be desktop, browser, or not at all, okay? Why? Because the problem is not only time spent on the platform, it is the cross-platform grazing. Facebook to Instagram. Remember, Facebook or Meta owns both, okay? Instagram to TikTok, TikTok to YouTube, okay? Come on, ultimate Goji edits. Hey. You got YouTube to X and then back to Facebook. Every app gets you gives you another entrance into the same attention market. Okay. And we don't want to do that. If a platform needs you more than you need it, it does not need a bedroom in your phone. It gets evicted. If you had to choose one social app to keep on your phone for the next 7 days, which one actually earns the spot? Who would you choose? I think a lot of y'all would choose YouTube. Okay. Mary said yes. Kev is trying to decide. He says, I'm still learning which app to get rid of since these conversations about data harvesting started. I'm going to tell you something. Most because Kroger, I want to say Kroger I think it was Kroger that had that huge case, but Kroger, I think Kroger makes like 800 billion or 80 billion annually. 30% of its margin is data selling. Do these supermarkets don't get on them apps? Don't use their apps. They make most of their money selling your data. How do you shop? What do you buy? Okay. If you buy butt cream or whatever, they sell it to certain platforms where now they can advertise certain pharmaceuticals to you. See, when people see, one day I got to do a breakdown of the pipeline, because I was telling people for years that data is gold. It is literally digital gold that can be monetized in a way that's unimaginable. Now, let's just say, hold on. Let's ask Brad real quick before we wrap up. Hey, Brad, real quick. Can you give me Kroger's just make it in one line? What is Kroger's annual earnings? Yeah, what are they? I thought it was like 800 billion or 800 million. I don't know, but if you can figure that out for me, can you pull that? Let's see what we get. Oh, while we're waiting for this, Abina says, I have about 20 apps. Let me put that on screen. I have never used. Come see, I'm just asking y'all to look. And praise God, you look, sis. When you start going, you forget. You download these things. You went to a restaurant, download the app and get 10% off. That's intentional. Okay. So, oh, I got it now, y'all. Kroger, financial year for 2025 made 147.6 billion annual sales and revenue. However, made 1.02 billion in net earnings, which is the profit. Now, okay, I was reading an article. I think they just had this huge case that over 30%, it was something like 30 or 33% of their earnings or their margins come from data that they sell. Can you give me what would be 30% of both of those numbers for me, please? Okay. So imagine if a lot of these people couldn't collect your data. They would lose a lot of money. You had the reselling of data. And let me tell you, as a business owner, certain data is chef's kiss. It's creme de la creme, if you will, because it allows you to target your audience so much better. And this used to be something that used to be massively gatekept. Okay, so if they couldn't sell your data, Kroger would lose 44.28 billion and of its EY, right? However, if it was the net earnings, they would lose 306 million. Now, let me tell you something. Do you think these people want to lose? Do you think these people want to lose that money? You know what? You're right. We're not going to collect your data anymore. That is over a quarter of their earnings annually. From what? From information you volunteered, from an app that they got a few devs that manage. They could pay those devs $100,000. They can have an AI run the app. No one has to do. An app is really easy to manage. You just got to know the technical capabilities and whatever, and update information. You get a few people on that, so the information that you volunteer is giving these people billions and hundreds of millions of dollars annually for them to sell it to someone else, so that they know your shopping pattern. When you go and you sign up for Kroger, you go on Kroger, they have these digi coupons. I double pay all the time if I want. You want to know why I refuse to sign up? Because I already knew this. When you go to sign up, you got to give your email, your phone number, your address, all these different things. And what happens, it tracks you every time. You think you're getting cost savings, but what are you really selling your soul to? It's too intrusive for me. You can keep your little funky 30 cents off. I don't care. I'll pay it. Better yet, I'll go online and buy it in bulk. There's only certain things I like to get from the store anyway. So that's how that goes. Okay. So that should scare you. Okay. And that's free money. Your information, your data is free money. And you be like, I don't care. And then you get mad at the corporations, but you're making them richer. Okay. Second category, which is my favorite to get rid of because I can't stand them, is games and entertainment. Games have got to go. If you do not intentionally want games on your phone, get rid of all of them. If you over 40, you shouldn't even, I don't think you should have them. Let me tell you something. Gaming consoles, the gaming apps are always selling your data. It's reading the information in the background. It knows what you buy, and when you buy on Amazon, it knows what you like to buy off of TikTok. It knows and a lot of these games are psychological. They try to see what you do after the game. What was you doing before the game? Maybe what you was talking about. If you've given it mic permissions, because a lot of times y'all don't realize with a lot of these apps, it asks for video, photo, or mic permissions, and you don't shut off the permissions. Do you not know there's an area? It's on your desktop and in your phone. It's called permissions. And then you can go into all the apps and you can see. I did a whole video on this channel about it. And then you can see what permissions are on. And then they can sit there and listen to your conversation. They can sit there and see what you're watching. They can sit there, their AI can sit there and see all these different things. And then you wonder why you get all this advertisement for certain things. You wonder why it's like, oh man, it's always, they know you've been looking for a vacation. They sell that information to somebody else. Games are to track temperaments. Those things are not free. Y'all, an app is not free just to be free. They leave here. How Denzel Washington said, I'm leaving here with something. That's to get you in the door. And this is my problem with I have a lot of people, and people do this even in my business. They want things for free, constantly. They want things for free. Okay? Now, if I was a rude gal, okay, I know how to run that play, because nothing is for free. It's not for free, y'all. So don't think when you get on these apps or when you go to these stores, or they say, oh, you get this 20% off if you just download that app. It's not for free. They're going to make that 20% off is going to cost, you're going to end up spending over the year, over time. They already know what is it called, EOY, right? Year over year, right? They already know, because probability have shown if you download this app, or if you do this, or if you use this service, most likely they can convert you to in paying into that ecosystem $2,000, $10,000, $20,000 over the lifetime. Okay. And that's actually a category, the lifetime LTV, okay, of that purchaser, of what they're doing. So that can be factored out. I have that capability with my Stripe account. I can look at the lifetime of a certain customer or consumer and know the probability of what they're going to spend in my ecosystem and how long of a time they'll stay in my ecosystem. That's just generic projections that we get in our financial reports. That's how sophisticated these things are. But you're like, I like the game. I want to use the app. It's a free app. Okay. That's how they hook you and book you. They tell you it's free, and then they go up and they do. That's how they do it. Okay. So yeah, games gotta go. And I'm not saying no one can ever play a game. I think you should play them on your desktop, but I am saying know what job you assign the phone. Okay. If the phone is supposed to become quieter, but you are carrying 12 games, 3 streaming apps, short form videos, and an endless feed, you did not dumb down the phone. You redecorated it. That's it. Okay. Look at games, streaming platforms, sports apps, celebrity apps, podcast apps. I got rid of all of those. You never opened. Music apps, you duplicated. And anything whose main job is to make sure there is never a quiet moment. Boredom does not need an app. Sometimes boredom is where you remember something. Sometimes I do this on the Sabbath. I just sit and look at a wall or look at my plants, prop my feet up, have some tea, and just look, pet my dog, prune some of my plants, and I think. And I sit in boredom. I get on my porch with my plants, and I'm present in boredom, and I get so much information and data and so much creativity. Okay. So boredom is where you remember something. Think something through, pray, or notice something in the room, finish a thought, or decide you are tired and you go to bed. Do not digitally clock, okay, every crack, okay, in the house. You know, you got that caulking stuff. Don't caulk it, okay? Caulking every crack in your day. A lot of people get on their phones out of boredom. They don't know how to listen to themselves. They don't know how to listen. I've had people, I'm teaching the class and they multitasking, right? Why? Because a lot of people, not to say you need to always sit still, but we don't realize how we just got to be going. And that's one reason why I took data off of all my phones, data plans off all my phones. Why? Because I found myself sometimes, even though I'm adamant about do not text and drive. I don't do none of that. I'm not grabbing my phone and driving. But if I was sometime in a checkout line, or I'm doing something that's taking a little bit too long and I'm waiting to get cashed out or whatever, I will go on my phone and I'll look at X. I'll go on my phone and I'll go on YouTube. I couldn't allow myself to stay present in the moment and to be observant of my surroundings. I found myself, I love hiking and going on long walks. I go on a lot of hikes and I go to the national forest and I do a lot of that kind of stuff, right? And I would be out in beautiful nature, and I hate to admit this, but I would be out there and I don't get notifications. But if I got bored, if I was sitting on a rock or something, I would actually go check my social media. And I love nature. I'm in Cloudland Canyons. I'm seeing all these beautiful, Amakalua Falls, and I'm in majestic areas, and I'm checking my phone or checking an email. I love the fact that I don't get an email until I get home. You want to know why? Because I don't have a data plan. I don't get notifications. I don't know nothing that's going on until I get back home. It's not that important. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's never been that important. I don't need it. Okay? So that's what I want you to do. Someone said they won't stop listening to me. That's not true. Deleting the apps do help. They do help. I know that for a fact. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't get spam calls. I don't get a lot of spam and emails. And trust me, my name is out there. So I've been able to shut that down. Not to say it will totally stop everything, but it does. And more importantly, what about you psychologically, what it does for you? So it does help. Oh no, it helps massively. Okay? Massively. All right. So category 3, y'all, shopping, food, coupons, and rewards. Okay. Even my website has an app. I have an app on my website. Okay. That app, though, is for people who are members to the website and whoever took my micro classes and things of that sort. It's easier than those are for people that's deep in my ecosystem. But guess what? I'm not sending them a bunch of stuff. I'm not emailing them every other day. I'm not. It's none of that. It's so that they can get in their portal. Okay. Food deliveries. Y'all need to stop with it. So now we are going after the mall in your pocket. Okay, so this is going to be Amazon retail apps. And let me tell you something. I took off of my primary private phone. I took Amazon off, y'all. Now it is on this one. Now I have a reason. I don't want to. If you really want to know, let me know. But I have a reason why I still keep Amazon on my phone. Okay. I don't want to say it on the internet because I give away a trade secret, but I don't want to say. However, my spending massively declined. Massively declined. If I see something and I'm like, oh, I want to do that, I'll screenshot it, and then when I get home, I'll look it up on the desktop. And then, then I realize I don't even really want this thing. Okay, so we're going after the mall in your pocket. Okay. Grocery apps, fast food, restaurant loyalty, delivery apps, coupon apps, buy now, pay later, Klarna, apps, flash sale apps, shopping marketplaces. Ask yourself why a store you visit 3 times a year needs permanent software on your personal device. Why? Why? If I need to buy something, I can sit down at a computer, okay? The extra step is not necessarily a flaw. It can be a financial boundary. The distance between, I want it and I bought it should sometimes be longer than 4 seconds. This is how they get a lot of you all on TikTok Shop, okay? A lot of y'all get caught. I remember years ago I was on TikTok. And I was like, because I studied psychology, so in behavioral science. So I don't want to admit this, I had got a little addicted to TikTok Shop. My spending went up crazy buying stuff off of TikTok Shop. And I said, oh, this is a toxic relationship. I deleted the app off my phone. Among some other reasons, I got rid of the app. It's egregious. The formula that they have over there is crazy. It is crazy. And I studied it. Okay. So I know how they do this. I think the most egregious platform when it comes to shopping is TikTok Shop. Of course, you got your Alibabas and Shein and all that kind of stuff. But baby, TikTok Shop, it'll get you. It got me. Some of y'all probably much stronger than me, but it got you, girl. And I cut that off real quick. Okay. I had got it real quick. She says, I love my rewards now. That's how they get me. Okay. So I personally prefer making many purchases from my desktop browser when practical. Not because desktop is magically secure. Okay. You still need to have desktop hygiene, just like phone hygiene. And a phone is automatically unsafe. I'm not saying that, but I prefer the larger screen, the ability to inspect the site and check out more deliberately, better record handling, fewer apps or app permissions, and less impulse behavior because you are intentionally putting a form of friction there. If a retailer forces me to install an app just to get a coupon or to even order some food, I want to know what the discount is really buying. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not using your QR code. You should have menus in here. I'm not doing it because I understand the exchange. I know what you want access to. You want access to my phone number. They want your phone number more than they want your email. Okay. Sometimes the cheapest coupon in the app, okay, you never download it. You get it, and they say, and then you notice they say, oh, you can use it on your next purchase. People fall for it. All right. So now now this one I had to put in there because I had a problem with it. Okay. So let's talk about it. This is category 4. This is productivity, journaling, notes, AI, and to-do apps. Anyone else had that problem? Listen, y'all. I had an app called Focus. I had another Pomodomo. And of course, I had to get all the bells and whistles in the feature. One was for when I would do my meditation. I got my meditation chair over here that I put on the ground on the floor, and I would turn it on my phone. And then I would do, now I got a manual timer. I only do manual timers now. Notes apps, okay. AI apps, okay. I still have OpenAI on mine. That's staying. Clock it. That's staying, okay. I had a million and one productivity apps, project management apps, Asana, Trello, Smart Suite, ClickUp, you name it, I have it or had it. I had Calendly, I had this, I still have Calendly. I love Calendly. I had so many productivity and business apps. Lee said, I just seen this comment. Lee says, my mom is addicted to TikTok Shop. Oh my goodness. Okay. Listen, y'all. If this is, I think this is going to be, and tell me if I'm wrong, my ADHDers, my neurodivergents, and my business owners, my entrepreneurs, this is up your alley. You got the AI apps, you got the notes apps, right? You got, if you do any kind of content creation, let me tell y'all something, okay? Let me tell you something. You know, people say, oh, you could do your content. I don't do no content from my cell phone. Nan. I do everything from my desktop. Everything. Okay. Unless I'm getting some B-reels because I'm out in the field, finding property, looking for property to buy or something like that. I do everything on my desktop, not my phone. I used to run a lot of my social media. I've had a lot of big accounts, y'all, that I let go. I was done with it. Okay. Years back, I have other companies that I built to massive platforms that I let go. Okay. Even CEO DRIVEHER. I just recently came back on the scene. Okay. I just recently came back. Okay. I used to massively put out content and what have you. And I would do a lot of it from my phone. I don't do that no more. That's not my workflow. Okay. Because sometimes you got to understand your own mental capacity. What can your spirit endure? What can you endure? And what you don't want to be invasive. I don't want these apps being invasive. And I had so many productivity apps that I started feeling overwhelmed. You know what I went back to? A notebook and a pad, a nice journal, pen and markers, whiteboards. Like I'm working on, y'all should see, I got a lot of whiteboards. So I do a biannual whiteboard, an annual whiteboard, a monthly whiteboard. Today starts my week. So Sundays are my Mondays. Okay. After the Sabbath, it's a whole new week. It's a whole new work week for me, my business and everything. So tonight I've already mapped it out what I'm doing for this week. And this is my whiteboard. Okay. This is my whiteboard. Okay. I got to clean it. And this is what I put on for the week. I don't need no app. I got a calendar right there. I got a calendar book right here. And I assign certain information to certain things. It's not an app. The only thing that's in the app is my calendar. So when I meet with my clients, just in case, because the mind can slip, that's going to send me a notification or something like that. Okay. That's it. I operate from a desktop. And let me tell you something. It's helped me mentally so much more. I'm more concentrated. I have my creativity went to a whole nother level. I was able to really just get some organization about myself when I started letting these apps go. Okay. Where was we at? So productivity. This is the category we're going after. This category, clearly, I just told you how it used to get me. Productivity apps make you feel productive before you have produced anything. This is the scary part. And here's another thing. If it's not productive, let's say you don't have a business, but you do your journaling. Why are you writing your journal in your app? Why are you journaling in an app when we know these other services are reading our data? Don't use your phone as a journal. And now if you need to take some notes and do some speaker notes and some dictation, go for it. I do it all the time. However, you need to get it off of there. Okay. So it has this problem of making you feel productive before you've produced anything. And I this is a problem I have with a lot of my people because they think they're busy. They think they're achieving something when they're not. Okay. So be careful. You can have 4 to-do apps, 3 journaling apps, 2 habit trackers, an AI note taker, a scanner, a focus timer, a project manager. I used to love project management software. Okay. And a second brain and still have not completed the task. Look at your notes app. I want y'all to go on your notes app. Let's go in it. Look at my code. Y'all trying to see my code? Going in. Look at this. 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022. I'm scrolling. Let me show y'all something. This is my notes app. So I'm talking about me. I ain't cleaned everything up, right? But look at this. Y'all see this? You see this? You see this? You see this? This is me running my mouth or getting links to stuff. Files, web link right here. Another web. You're forgetting you have all this information. Now, mind you, this is not tied to a data plan. It's not tied to a phone number anymore, but oh, we finally finished because I was going 1,000 miles an hour. This is scary. This is scary. Okay? We don't realize how much we outsource our brain, our mind, our thoughts into this ether. I'm just saying. Look at your notes app. If you got a journaling, look at your journaling. Look at your planners, calendars, task managers, habit trackers, scanners, transcription tools, AI assistants, PDF tools, document apps, whiteboard, mind maps, and anything else you downloaded because you thought it might organize you. Now ask a brutal question. Does this tool reduce complexity, or has managing the tool become another form of complexity? Have you even used the little thing yet? If a notebook works, a notebook is allowed to win. If one desktop program works, one desktop program is allowed to win. If the browser version works, the browser is allowed to win. You do not receive extra stewardship points because you have more software. And this used to be a problem of mine. I was a software junkie, okay? You don't get no points for it. Just letting you know. Let's get into category 5. This is going to be this is another one of my favorites. Okay. This one is category 5, and this is health, fitness, wellness, and body data. Because I do a lot of biohacking and stuff like that. So on a holistic side, okay? So I want you to slow down in this category because health data can be unusually sensitive. And because I do a lot of work on the blockchain, and I think this is going to be huge business opportunities when it comes to health data, I'm telling you right now, I've taught classes on this. I know what I'm talking about, okay? I started paying more attention to it. And so health data can be unusually sensitive. This is your fitness trackers, period trackers, fertility apps, medication apps, calorie apps, macro. How many of you all be counting your macros? You use an app. I use my bot. I'd be like, tell me the macros. I ain't paying for no app. My bot does it. Okay. Mood, sleep app, mood trackers, mental wellness apps, therapy platforms. That was BetterHelp that I just talked about earlier, right? Symptom that the FTC went over and sued, or fined them. You got symptom apps, you got fasting apps, you got body composition apps. I've built some of these apps. I've built some of these because I know how to do this. I can build an app. I vibe code like a mug, okay? If I have some time and I want to prop my feet up on my I pull out this little, what these things called, footstool that's attached to my chair. Put on some lo-fi and I just build me an app. I'm gonna build me an app today. What kind I'm gonna build today, okay? So these, different fitness apps. Some of these may be tremendously useful, and they are. I'm not gonna badmouth the host. They're good. There's some really good ones, but I know how to build them better, okay? And for free. The question is not automatically delete all health technology. The question is whether you understand what information you are putting there, okay? Why the app needs it, whether you still use the app, and what permissions are active. This is where those FTC cases matter, okay? So you may want to go back to the beginning and take a listen to that when we was going over the FTC cases. When data is deeply personal, the cost of sloppy app habits can be higher than the cost of silly game knowing your high score, okay? The more intimate the data, the higher the admission standard should be. So let me ask you, how many wellness or fitness apps are on your phone right now? I'm training back now for a marathon. I used to run marathons and half marathons. I did a lot of races. So I've gotten back into racing, right? Now I use a manual tracker. I got one on me right now, right? Here's a manual tracker that I use, okay? And it's one of the greatest, cheap, and it's better than an Apple Watch. It's better than is it called Loop? What's that thing? Them bands y'all be getting and what have you, them electronic ones. I've spent hundreds of dollars. I used to wear Polo watches. Listen, I don't spend some money, okay? The best that I've had is this, okay? There are other devices that are not tied to the internet. Your data is not tied to it that you can use, and it'll track your stride or what have you. So I will be transparent. I have Strava because I bike, okay? So I have a very expensive bike. I've biked for years, and this year, I got back into biking. Okay. And so I'll go on a bike ride. I'll do a 25-mile or 40-mile bike ride. Okay. So I have Strava. All right. I've made the choice to continue to use it until I get my Garmin, because there's one that I want that's almost about $1,000. It's expensive. Okay. It tracks the terrain and everything. It talks to the satellite. I don't have to have it tied to my phone. Okay. I'm going to treat myself to that. Okay. Probably by the end of the year. When it comes to running, I know how to pace myself. I track that. But I used to use Nike Plus Run, Nike Run Club. Okay, they have two, Nike Plus and Nike Run Club. Okay, so I used to use that. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about a health app. Okay, they can have really great use. I used to kill it. I still have an account. A lot of people follow me because I was huge in the running community. So some of y'all probably know me from the running community. Okay, and so that's what I'm talking about. But see where it's worth at. If you're not using it, I say go ahead and get rid of it. Okay. And just because it's free doesn't mean it's great. That data is being used somewhere. Okay. So I want you all to tell me, if you can, in the chat, how many wellness or fitness apps are in your phone right now? I have Quest Diagnostics because I go and do my own blood work. And I like using an app because I don't need a doctor. I could get tested for anything. I biohack. So I like getting my A1Cs, my fasted glucose. I like getting my leptins checked. I do all that. I research everything. Okay. I want to know where my ketones at, what's doing this. I get my P tested, my blood, and then I get my own panels. No, because doctors don't like to run panels for whatever reason. I run my own panels. And then now here's the thing. I will take my panels and upload it into my medical bot, and then I'll do my own research on my blood work. Okay. That's how I do my own medical care. Okay. So that's something I don't mind having. I don't mind having Quest. I don't mind having Strava. I don't have Nike anymore. I have the Zero app. I have my Keto Mojo app, which I really like. And when I used to wear the CGM, which is the continued glucose monitor, because I wanted to track my insulin levels, which was great for that. So I could see how my blood works throughout the day continuously. It's expensive, but when I did that, I had that app. And when I was done with it, I took the app off. Okay. I didn't know that was still on the screen. Hold on. Hey, Brandon. Okay. So how many health apps do you have? Okay. And how many haven't you used? If you're catching a replay, let us know in the chat. Okay. So the other category is banking payments, crypto, and authentication. Now, this is not the category where I want everybody panic deleting. You got to be careful with this. Okay. Don't panic delete these things. Okay. Don't sit on it. This is the category where I want you to think architecture, banking apps. If you have a banking app and you don't even use that bank anymore, get it off your phone. Payment apps. If you used to pay your rent through a portal or through a company or whatever, any kind of billing company, Georgia Power, what is it? I got Cox Internet or what have you. Don't put it on your phone. They'd be like, do you download our app? Don't you want to get our app? Get our app. I'm not putting the app on my phone. I got a computer. Okay. So we got payment apps, crypto exchanges, wallets, brokerage apps. Okay. I don't do none of those. Except for the crypto exchanges. All right. Authenticated apps. You got Google Passkey. Unfortunately, we do have to, I try not to. I went to some of my things. I do use the Google Passkey, and I also use the 2FA authenticator. Okay. Password managers, that's what that is. Digital wallets. Some of these things may need to remain mobile for life. And if you're on an exchange, you already know it's there. It is there. Okay. All right. It's stuck there. All right. Some people may decide to move part of this activity back to a desktop. Some may choose a dedicated device, which I showed y'all earlier. For sensitive financial functions, I have experimented with multiple phone roles myself. A regular smartphone configuration, a talk and text oriented phone, and a Wi-Fi smartphone that I can use for selected app functions without carrying continuous cellular data everywhere. We don't want that. That is not a prescription for you. It is an example of refusing to make one device, perform every role. Do not lose the function. If you use the authenticated app, please keep it on your phone. Do not get rid of that. Do not delete it until you understand your backup and recovery path for every account connected to it. Because if you delete that, you're going to be up a creek. Don't do the passkeys and authenticator apps. Keep, unless you're not using that app no more. Like you've gotten rid of it and no accounts are tied to it, If you have crypto or financial accounts, make sure you understand your recovery methods before changing devices, because you could get locked out of your stuff. Dumbing down a phone does not mean dumbing down your security. It doesn't. It makes you smarter, and it makes you someone good at custodying your own data and information. In fact, the whole point is to make your security easier to reason about. Category 7 is going to be communication apps. So now look at communications. This is going to be text, email, WhatsApp, Messenger, Telegram. iPhone, Apple just delisted Telegram. So I think it may still be on Android. I'm not too sure. You got Signal, Slack, Teams, Discord, GroupMe applications, work chat, video chat. How many doors do people have into your attention? Somebody can text you, DM you, email you, message you in a work platform, send a message, a social message, send a voice note, then call you because you did not answer the other 5 channels. This used to be a problem for me in my business, and I stopped it. Like, I have a rule. Don't call me or text me. Friday, Saturday especially, those are my off days, No. You text me, I don't care who it is, I'm not answering it. You call me, most likely I'm not answering it. I have really strict boundaries about that. And if for my business owners, you may have to you may have to set up some boundaries. Tia says, I just checked my phone. I have 11 health apps. Girl, what you got now? I want to know. What you got? 11 apps? Well, that sound about right, like me. But are you using them? Mind you, some of these apps may be tracking your steps. It may be tracking your sleep. It may be tracking, like when you sleep, they got apps that track how many times you fart in the night, how many times you roll over. It knows those things. If you talk in your dream, if you have nightmares, it's recording a lot of data. And I know it sounds dystopian, but it's true. So you definitely need to run an audit on those apps. But thanks for sharing that, girl. So that is not accessibility. That can become access sprawl. I actually like fewer phone calls and fewer text messages in my life. I do not need constant conversational traffic to prove I am connected. The number of channels people can reach me through is not a measure of the quality of my relationship or your relationship. Decide what is primary communication lanes for you, in your life. What are they, Everything else is a candidate for a desktop browser or eviction. That's an app eviction, Especially if you got WhatsApp and that stuff, get rid of it, Category 8 is going to be your travel, airlines, parking, maps, and transit. This is where convenience culture has gotten ridiculous. You want to park, download the app. You want to board, download the app. You want a restaurant reservation, download the app. You want to open the hotel door? Yeah, download the app. You want to get into your own home. This was just on the news. You got landlords where you have to have an app to get into the building and sometimes to get into your own house. We have accepted the idea that a simple temporary transaction should create a permanent software relationship. I beg to differ. I am not saying never install a travel app, okay? I'm not saying that. However, I am saying temporary need does not automatically deserve permanent residency. Install when necessary, use the browser when possible, okay? Print and save a fallback when appropriate, remove software you no longer need. After the trip, okay, 1 week trip does not require, okay, a 5-year tenant. The minute you've done with, I've done that plenty of times. I'll download the app. No problem. Download. Listen, I did that with my family. We had a huge, down in Florida, we had a huge Thanksgiving. It was like a family reunion Thanksgiving. That wasn't last year, it was the year before last. And my aunt wanted us on WhatsApp. I hate WhatsApp, but I wasn't going to argue with my 60-something-year-old aunt. I was like, yes, ma'am. That's all. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And so I did it, even though I didn't want to put it on my phone, but I did it. And I used it so we could, plan everything or what have you, because I was on the board of doing that. I wasn't back in Georgia good enough before I had deleted it. I was like, family is sending pictures over Thanksgiving, like, oh, delete. My mama got it on her phone. If I want to see, I don't care to see anything, but if I want to know something, I guess, but I don't care. I didn't want it. It couldn't take no more residency. I had it on my phone for about a couple of months because we needed to correspond. Once that was done, I was no longer tied to it. All right. It can't be a tenant for 5 years or forever because family may want to talk. Category 9. This is going to be photos, videos, editing, cloud, and scanner apps. Okay. Now look at the creative pile. This is going to be your photo editors, video editors, filter scanners, cloud drives, collage apps, camera replacements, social editing tools like CapCut, Canva. Get them off. You shouldn't be doing that on your phone. Do it on a desktop. If you create content, some of these may be necessary, but do it on a desktop. But if you are not editing on the phone anymore, or you can move production to a computer, a larger screen is often better for deliberate work anyways. And look at photo permissions. Does every app need your entire photo library? Why does an app need access to your photos? Does it need the microphone forever? It doesn't. Delete it. They're using the microphone in the background. Category 10, this is going to be my favorite to get rid of, was news, weather, alerts, and information apps. Get rid of it, okay? News apps are another category where the app can convert information into interruption. Badly, okay? Big time. You may need weather. I took it off. You may need emergency alerts, okay? But do you need 6 news organizations, sports alerts, celebrity alerts, market alerts, breaking news alerts, and notifications from every topic you ever clicked on? You don't. Get rid of it. You can access it from the desktop, or you can, when you get home on your Wi-Fi, you can use one of your other backup cell phones that's for entertainment or whatever. You can use that and catch up on it. And then you realize you ain't even really catching up on much of anything. Okay. There is a difference between information access and information summons. And I think these things be like conjuring up some devils, because I tell you, it just be calling your name. But once you get rid of these apps, they don't. Okay. You can know something without being interrupted by it. Consider moving news consumption to a deliberate time on a computer or a selected source. And with that, y'all, I have more categories. All right. We'll do one more and then we're going to get out of here. Okay. So we got category 11. All right. This one is important because work will take every door you give it. Now, for you all that still have jobs and your job be like, oh, you need to download this on your phone, on your device. Baby, they are spy tools. A lot of times they are. I'm not saying that yours is, but you better be careful. Okay, because you probably done gave the backdoor entrance to your job, to your employer. So you got email, you got Slack, you got Teams, you got Zoom, you got CRM, you got payroll, scheduling, project management, cloud storage, document signing, workplace chat. If you generally work in the field and you need them, keep what you need. But if all your real work, okay, happens at a desk, ask why your office needs permanent permission to follow you into the grocery store, the bathroom, the bedroom, and dinner. I like hosting meetings from my desktop because the computer says, I came here to conduct this meeting. My phone can be muted, turned off, face down, or physically away from me. The room gets to outrank the phone, and I'm present. So we're going to leave that there. I think we've spent enough time discussing this. I hope you all walked away with some really great information. And I did this specifically. It may not be, too popular with a lot of people, but there was a lot of people with that video I did about the flip phone. I got like 1,000 questions. Okay. And there was a lot of common factors, and it was, how do I do my banking? How do I use a flip phone? And what about authentication apps? I get it. And so this was a way for you to dumb down what you already have, or use an old phone, if you will. Use some kind of old device that you have that's not connected to a data plan, or it's just talking text, and you dumb it down. Okay? Dumb it down. And watch how much more peace you get. Watch how great you feel from dumbing down your phone. And then when you're ready to go full throttle, when you're ready to, take that leap and say, I don't need no communications until I get home, and you're ready to leave these things at home, and you feel comfortable doing that. You just want to walk around with your flip phone. Okay? You can graduate into that. Okay? So, she says so Tia says out of the 11, she uses 8 of them daily. There you go. So now you can get rid of what's that, 3? Yeah, you can get rid of 3 of them. Nice. You see, I had to take that post down. I don't think the Lord liked that. I should have been quiet, but I'm not gonna say. But I was just kind of like, I was not happy. I try to be really happy on that day. I'm one of those people, I plan, so it's like, don't be invasive, Wow, that's a big one for me, because I know they don't turn it off like every device should. They don't. CGM, yeah. I can see that being the CGM was great. It's just so expensive, so I just went back to doing my Keto Mojo. And it gives you your ketones, so I like that. Okay. Right. Yeah, the graphene OS. Someone had talked about it, and it's just so funny. It's in the news, that guy that got stopped by customs, I think in Miami or something. And now the prosecutor is trying to convict him. They're trying to go after him because that graphene OS, he they asked him for his passcode. He gave them the passcode. And when he gave them the passcode, it wiped his phone. And I've seen a lot of attorneys do some talks about it, but that phone is pretty dope. It's pretty dope, but I don't want no new devices right now. I'm going massively analog. Well, I went massively analog. But I may use it for, a little down the road, I might look into it. The satellite phones as well. Did you see what Elon is doing? So he's basically going to compete directly with the other conglomerates, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Okay. So yeah, FYI, again, where I'm at. Okay. For you all. So I'm going to do a whole playlist for you all that are looking for strategies, whether you're a business owner, home manager, just a private citizen, someone who is, concerned about these different things, I'm going to have playlists that I'm putting all the phone, because I don't want to be the phone lady, so to speak. But this is something now let me be very clear. This is not something I'm just doing to do. I was already teaching these strategies in a lot of my blockchain crypto teachings with my students over there when we do a lot of crypto wallet management. And so this comes into play. And so I wanted something where those little nuanced questions where I don't want to teach a class on it, but I can privatize them. So if you become a member of the channel, so I did open that back up. I'm going to have a ton. I'm going to have courses over there. It's $5.99 a month. The goal is to have anywhere between 10 to 20 videos or so. And these will be micro videos, but where it can walk you all through some things. I can demo some things. I can't post that. I can't post a lot of that stuff on my regular channel. It's just people gonna be like, what is this, right? But I'm gonna have a number of different playlists for you all, so that's gonna be pretty dope. And also for anyone that becomes a member on the channel, you automatically get a monthly 20% off coupon that goes over to the other platforms as well. So whether that's any kind of upcoming class or any kind of replays, you automatically qualify for a lot of the discounts over there as well. And I'm not too sure if I will do a newsletter, a monthly newsletter for the channel. But if I get a lot of questions and a lot of that content over there, that is for the members only. But we'll see how that goes. Okay. So it was good having you all this evening. As usual, I didn't plan to be here that long, but here we are. I hope this was a wealth of information for you. Excuse me when I say this, that I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but I truly believe that we're going to have a cataclysmic digital disaster here soon. I think it's going to happen this year. I've been saying this for a while, and it ties into the new money system. Okay? It ties into the new money system, and it's going to be these things. It's going to be these devices. So you want your data backed up. You want it on an external hard drive. You want it out of the cloud. You want it in a filing cabinet like I have over here and a ton of them over here. You want your data protected. You want it stored. You want it safe. Because when the lights come back on, conveniently, a lot of data you thought you had or you want it, and now you're ready to value it, is going to be gone. And we don't want that to happen. Okay? I'm telling you, people are going to imagine right now all your pictures, all your files, all your college papers that you've stored on an old Yahoo account, emails that have pertinent information. Imagine those things disappeared. Your tax deeds, or the deed to your house, your taxes. Y'all listen. And I don't want to be that person, but I mean this with my heart. You don't know what you have until you lose it. Okay? I've seen this happen with a lot of my clients. You don't know what you have till you lose it. And sometimes when the lights come on, you're not retrieving what you had. Sometimes the baby is gone with the bathwater. And you may not think it's a big deal, but I just had you do an audit on your phone. You ever went through your files and you was amazed at what you found? I do binder classes. Matter of fact, I just did a custody binder class last month. Phenomenal. I've done probably 3 this year. I have a financial binder class that's coming up as well. And when you learn the artistry of custodying your data, you become a better person. You become a better steward. How God intended you, how Christ intended us to be. We're the steward and man this body, our mind, our gifts, our talents, and yes, the sheets of papers that we get. And a lot of people lose on the technicality of not having a backup to the backup, not having the official document or a copy of it, not having the insurance paperwork, not having the financials, not having the decrees. You can do what you will with that information. But I'm telling you all now, you have the time. You can go through your computer and print things out. Everything else that's just mess, delete it. Delete it. Get rid of it. Go through your emails. I do a whole system on some of my adult study halls. Okay. Let me tell you, I do these adult study halls probably about 4 times a year, 3 to 4 times a year. And in the adult study hall class, what we do is I literally am like a conductor. You come in, you have your files, you have your desktop, your laptop, your phone, whatever. We'll spend 45 minutes cleaning up emails, going in the spam, blocking certain. I say, okay, now go through the emails. All the ones you don't like, I want you to write. The companies that keep reaching out to you, we're either going to report them, we're going to unsubscribe. There's 2 ways of doing it. And if we need to, we're going to report the spam, and you're going to put it in your trash folder, and then we're going to clean out your trash bin. A lot of you all, do you not know when you put things into your trash bin, you have to clean your trash bin too? There's another button because it holds your trash for like 30 or 190 days or something like that. So you have to go in and do that. I've had people take my adult study hall classes and get anywhere between 90 days to 6 months of work done in an 6 to 8 hour time span. Why? Because it's concentrated. We know what we're going in for. We're going in for the kill. We're going to clean up. We do digital decluttering and clean up those things. And every time there's some people that's been in there's Lee, she's been in them. They are amazed at what they find. Emails. I have found, we just did a binder class. People were finding checks. People was finding money. People was finding crypto wallets. People was finding old disc, all kinds of different things. I found physical cash and where I was storing some money and I forgot about it. I have found a iPod Nano, a Nano iPod or whatever you call it. I have found a MP3 player. We accumulate so much stuff. And I'm not beating up on us because we have a lot of stuff, but we forget. And next thing you know, you don't realize what you have, so you can't use what's in your hand. So take it with a grain of salt. And yeah, Mary, don't you stop. You know what? I should not have said that because I know what y'all gonna do. You're gonna go and bank yourself on Tuesday. I have a bank yourself class. You're going to go and bank yourself and say, Kimberly said we're getting a newsletter. I didn't say that. If I do the newsletter, it's going to be for this channel. It's going to be for this channel and for the members. Okay? Because I got 2 tiers. I think I did a $5.99 tier and I did a $19.99 tier. And I'm going to give y'all a bunch of content and we're going to have a lot of private lives and stuff like that over there. So that's going to be cool. Okay. All right. Love y'all. Y'all take care. Delete, okay? Clean these things up so you can graduate to the flip phone. I love opening the flip phone. It's just, and I like closing in it too. But all right, y'all take care. Bye. You better tell them, Lee, that adult study hall ain't no joke. She done told y'all. Ain't no joke.